Hello, I'm Charles and welcome to my Hebridean Way adventure. 156 miles of beaches, moorland and amazing scenery. Good morning again everyone. And what a morning we've woken up to this morning. Bright sky, lovely and warm. Not a bit of condensation on the tent either, bit of a bonus. And so I'm up and about on the trail 8 a.m. nice and early, ready to tick off some miles before it gets too hot. I'm really not sure which way to go. So I've got to back up to the path above Hoggerbost. I don't know if you can see it's coming out. The campsite is just there, that sort of cluster of caravans you can see, and I camped just above the beach there. Absolutely wonderful setting. Okay, it's a campsite. We did have showers. So really nice place to stop, even if you are not doing the trek. But I am. And today, it's about 17 miles to Tarbert. So I'm going to go there, hopefully get there in time to pick up my resupply. Been on the trail now for 7 days. This is my 8th day. So I'm really into the routine of it, if you like. Physically, I don't have any particular aches and pains. My feet seem to be really comfortable. And I think after 7 days of walking, that's a pretty good sign. And muscles, leg muscles and this kind of thing, no twinges. My knees and hips and that kind of thing. So far, so good. And I've got to say that's a huge relief. But I am quite weary, if you like. Just that sort of cumulative fatigue after a week on the trail. And every now and again, I just have to pause and look up at the view I'm enjoying. It's not bad, is it? Ooh. Give me a second whilst I catch my breath. That was a bit of a pig of a climb. I'm absolutely dripping now. Probably looking a bit flushed. But look at those views that the climb has opened up behind me. Oh dang it, I've just now there's a marker post about 50 meters below where I am. So that's I climbed too high. No! Oh well. What I would say is this section, it's rough ground and climbing, so you come to rely on the marker posts, and when you can't see them, you sort of make your best guess. I am following a GPX file which takes me exactly here, and I can see that there is a path here, so I'm going to give myself a break. But that is just a little bit annoying. That steep, long climb this morning seemed like a bit of a pig at the time, but just look at the view that it's opened up for me. It's a beautiful, still morning. Not much of a cooling breeze, unfortunately, but the sea is very calm. It's a little boat coming in across the bay, and the golden sand, coupled with the pale greeny blue of the sea, and the mountains in the distance with the caps just in clouds still. And it's so quiet that I can hear, all the sounds from around the bay. I can hear the faint note of the boat engine in the distance. I think if I was going to pick a scene to encapsulate the essence of the Hebridean Way, you could do a lot worse than this. say goodbye to the golden sandy beaches of West Harris, and the pass takes us over to the eastern side and the craggy coast. I was saying a few days ago that the walking then was the best days walking on a trail ever, kind of thing. Well, do you know what? This section of path, that's a strong contender as well. That first hill, yeah, not so much, but this Bilach, oh, it's absolutely gorgeous. First half climbing out with the views of the beach behind me, but since we've gone over the top now, the view is of the coast in front of me and lochs and little lakes there. It's a sunny day. I've got the breeze cooling me, it's blowing it into my face, nice and refreshing. It's a lovely path, gently downhill now, it does help. Oh, it's turning into a hot afternoon. Every now and again I get a wisp of a nice cool breeze off the sea, but between that, ooh, it's a bit hot. And this landscape is crazy. I want to show it to you. It's really barren, you know. The rocks are smooth, scoured, as if the glaciers retreated like last week. It's a very, very moody kind of place. In the sunshine, it looks lovely. You can imagine on a gloomy, windswept, gale-lashed day, it had quite a sinister feel to it. But for now, it's quite nice walking. The path is nice and grassy and it's meandering through the rocky outcrops. So this section of road I'm on at the moment, it's very pretty, and it's called the Golden Road, so locally, because it cost so much to construct that they say, the saying was, it might as well have been paved with gold. It was so expensive to make. Can't quite see why, but it does have to twist and turn up and down between various little lochans and rocky outcrops along the way, so it must have taken quite a long time to make. But for me, it makes this bit of walking much easier because it's nice and relatively smooth. They've ironed out some of the ups and downs, so it isn't quite so tiring. I got a little bit more of off-road section to do before I get into Tarbert, but I think I'm on target to get to Tarbert. And all the time, I'm keeping my eye out for a sign. Show me a sign. I think I can see it coming because pretty soon turn off to the left to sort of cut a corner of the road, if you like. I'm half a mile now outside Tarbert. I'm making good time. I'm going to be at the post office on schedule. It's a horrible road, this. Every 10-15 seconds a car goes past. There we go. I think a ferry just arrived, so there was a huge sort of number of camper vans and stuff going past. Occasionally a nice cyclist or some tourists who give you a little friendly wave when you step out of the road for them. Tarbert eventually came into sight, with the ferry to Oban just departing. Yay, I love it when a plan comes together. Resupply parcel. Right, I'm leaving Tarbert behind now, which is a bit of a shame because I spent a happy hour or two there. But I've picked up my resupply parcel, stocked up with some goodies, had a can of iron brew. Well, you've got to, haven't you? Had a bit of a freshen up, filled up with water at the hotel, even managed a quick beer. But now I'm heading out of town on the road, looking out for a spot for a wild camp tonight. Oh, that was a bit of a pull up out of Tarbert, especially with a sack full of resupply weight, but just come over the top and I've got my first glimpse of the valley that I'm going to be walking into and hopefully finding somewhere to wild camp. Yeah, what a glorious evening, warm and sunny. Fingers crossed everyone, fingers crossed I find somewhere good. Right, here we are, beautiful valley on a warm sunny summer's evening. Perfect. Right, so from now on, eyes peeled everyone, looking for somewhere nice to stick the tent. I've got plenty of water with me, so I don't have to be too close to the lock side, but a nice stream nearby would be a bonus. So let's see what we find. This is Camp Spot Poker. Is it twist or stick? So there is a spot down there that looks like it would do a little bit close to the road. If I go around the corner a couple hundred meters and it's looking not very encouraging, then I'll come back to that. That's my plan. Right, so let's carry on and see what we find. I really like this part of the day's walking. There's a little bit of tension and urgency to finding somewhere to stop. But there's that kind of, I don't know, mystery, excitement. What is around the corner? Is it the perfect camping spot? Right, I've found it. Just here. Not too bad, reasonably dry, reasonably flat, reasonably smooth. Let's get this tent up. Right, there it is. Pitched in not a bad spot. In the end, we lucked in by the lakeside. Beautiful warm evening, the sun's just setting. So I'm going to get myself inside the tent, get sorted and rest, because today turned out to be another big one. Because of the distance, the type of terrain, and also the temperature. It was hot. Caught the sun for sure. I had factor 70 cream on today and a cap and everything, but my face is feeling like it's caught the sun. So be glad to get in some shade, get some food and settle down for the night. So I always have this thing when I've pitched in the wild camp on the trail. The next morning, I always think, oh, if I'd carried on, would there have been a better spot later on? Oh, dang it, this time there was a really nice spot in an old shieling. So it's in windy weather, a little bit of shelter as well, close to the lake for water supply. I mean, I was done last night, but that would be a good one for future reference. It was a wonderful morning's walk over stunning scenery with distant views across the beautiful mountains. Until I came across the cool running stream. I could have stayed there a long time. As it is, I had just 10 minutes cooling the feet off and having a splash around, a bit of a wash in this lovely cool mountain stream. Absolutely gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. It took quite an effort to get going again, but it was just as well that I got out to the stream when I did, because there I was in my briefs, sort of mooching about, starting to get dried off, when over the brow of the hill came a dog, a lovely Dalmatian. Yep, people coming, and close behind it, I think it must have been a college party of 15 or 20, the teenagers and some teachers as well, I guess, came stomping past me. If I'd have got out of that stream 30 seconds later, slightly more embarrassing. I've never put my trousers on as quickly in my life. Anyway, that having been said, feeling really refreshed now. My feet had, I don't know, 10-15 minutes soaking in nice cold water. I managed to get in sort of to my legs as well. And the feeling, the difference it's made to my feet now, blissful. Because it's taken all the heat out of them, freshened them up. And dare I say, they're a bit easier on the nose now as well. So, they are rejuvenated. That stream didn't come a moment too soon. Problem with streams is they run along the bottom of valleys. Once you've crossed over one, inevitably there's a climb up the other side. Well, the sun's really come out now. Luckily, I've got to the top of a climb, so I had to follow the main road for a bit to get up to this pass. And from here on, the path follows what looks like the old road down that kind of cuts a corner over the new road. So it's all looking good. And I'm wondering if those two birds I can see over there are eagles. They blooming are. I think they're sea eagles. See if I can get them on camera. Oh, I'm made up. I was really hoping I'd see some eagles on the walk. And I think they're sea eagles because there's a little bit of a white on their tail, like I'm an expert. That's the limit of my knowledge. Pair of them circling on the thermals. Absolutely marvellous, brilliant. Oh, that's wonderful. That's the real highlight of the trip. I'm having one of my moments. Can't quite believe it. So let's just add it up. Beautiful weather, just a bit of cloud cover, so every now and again you get a cloud cooling things down a little bit in the trail. The path is grassy, smooth and downhill, winding gently around the hillside. And look at the views that I've got around me. Fantastic hills and moorland, classic Scottish scenery. And I've got the place to myself. My eagles have been keeping me company. This is why I do through hiking and wild camping. Right, a few miles of road walking later, I have two bits of good news and one bit of not so good news. Let's do with the not so good news first, shall we? This food shack that's on this one of the guidebooks is selling like pizza and local seafood. Sadly it's been shut really since COVID, so it's a shame for them because it's a magical spot for an outlet. Because look at this view down over the sea loch. So that's the other bit of good news, the view and the scenery, the weather. And the other encouraging thing is that I am about to arrive on my 10th island. Now, technically, by the normal definitions of an island, it's not an island because Lewis and Harris are kind of all one landmass. But for historical, cultural, etc. reasons, they treat it as two, they're called. And the bridge that I'm just coming up to actually defines the border between the two islands. I don't think I'm going to have to flash a passport, but it is kind of a milestone on the trail, isn't it? final island. Out of 10 out of 10. Interestingly, I'm about to enter into some woodland. There's been noticeably no woodland walking until now. The Hebrides are famously short of trees. So this woodland was planted a while back as a test, as an experiment, if you like, see what happens. And it was abandoned after a while because, strange to tell, a moth had taken a particular liking to the pine trees. And so lots of the pine trees died. But what they're doing apparently now is, although the high percentage of the firs have died, they're using them as a shelter, if you like, to provide some shelter for other species of tree to grow. So it's coming to some good in the end. And somewhere up there's a hill, and apparently from the top of the hill the views are very good. Well, I'll tell you what, they were right! Often I grumble that this style of gate isn't big enough for people with backpacks to get through comfortably, but this one has taken things to the other extreme, I think it's fair to say. So let me just see if I can squeeze through this palatial gate. Oh, breathe in everybody. Yep, so there's a good metre and a half of clearance there. Didn't have gone on a diet after all. I think I've found a pretty good pitch for tonight. So let me show you. It's on a sort of raised mound, which means it's dry underneath, just about big enough for the Lanshan at a pinch. And look at this, right next to the path with a babbling stream just below. And this has set me up nicely for tomorrow's walk as well, so I think this will do very nicely. Right, so this is me set for the evening. Tent's up in a fantastic spot. You know, usually I'm, do I keep walking? Do I use this spot? Will there be another one around the corner? But I came down the path and spotted this lovely raised area with a fantastic view, and that was that. Decision made. I'm here. And where I've stopped now leaves me with a nice day tomorrow of perhaps 17-18 miles before the final walk into Saunderway. So everything has come together perfectly, and I just enjoy our perfect evening in the Outer Hebrides. Good morning, and it's a very different feel to the weather this morning. Damp, overcast, gloomy, still. Well, the weather forecast says that the wind's picking up through the day, and we're going to get gales and gusts tonight, which should make camping an interesting experience. I have to say I'm a bit disappointed, more than disappointed actually. So this is the Historical Society at Kinloch, which has a tea room, but it's closed today, and there's a sign on the door saying it's open at the moment during the month of May on Tuesdays and Thursdays only. But I did check their Facebook page and their website and everything last night, and there's nothing about that at all in there, so left feeling a little bit disappointed because I was looking forward to a nice hot cuppa. Well, so much for me grumbling about the opening hours of the cafe. I was stomping around looking grumpy outside, and a lovely lady, Jenna, came out, said hello, and invited me into the museum. Even gave me a cup of tea and some biscuits. So I'll take it all back. Kinloch Historical Society, lovely people, and made me feel very, very welcome. So I've had a nice break, managed to cheekily charge up batteries a little bit on the phone and power banks. So I'm all set for this afternoon's walk back out onto the moorland after this small section of road. The wind's picking up and there's a little bit of rain forecast. In fact, one of the forecasts is for heavy rain, strong winds overnight, and I'm heading out onto the moor. So now I'm within range already of Stornoway. I'm about 17 miles, possibly less actually. I'm doing some maths in my head, could take a while. 5, 13 or 14 even. So easily within range of Stornoway in a day's walk. So basically I can stop wherever I like now, and I'm just thinking if I go too far up onto the moors, the chance of finding somewhere half decent to camp that's not too windy and rainy could be pretty slim. So basically what I'm going to do now is from now on look out for somewhere possibly to pitch that's a little bit sheltered. Oh, those trees are starting to blow around a bit. It's not looking good. Right, so another half a mile I think till I get on the moor. Is there an air of doubt and uncertainty in my face? Yeah. Let's see what we find, eh? What could possibly go wrong? Okay, I think this is going to be my spot for tonight. I've been up about half a mile up onto the moor and there's nothing better. And this doesn't look too bad in that there's kind of an earth bank which is providing a natural sort of shelter, and I'm also downhill a bit from a small ridge. So I'm going to find myself a flat-ish spot down here and set up for the night. Right, there we are, all set up. It's looking pretty tight and quite sheltered as well, so let's get inside and get all nice and warm and dry. Right, hello everyone. I'm in the tent, obviously, and sheltering from the wind that's rustling the leaves and the branches of the trees next to where I'm pitched. So I've got about 13-14 miles left to do tomorrow, so it's no trouble at all. I'm definitely glad that I made the decision to pitch here before I got up onto the exposed moor, because it's going to be a wild and windy night. So nice early pitch though, and got myself all sorted out. Next job is to make some nice food and a hot drink. Certainly deserve it. The difference in conditions from yesterday is amazing. Yesterday it was warm and sunny. I was sitting outside the tent and cooling my feet in the stream. And not today. Today we've got the puffy on. It's all about keeping warm and comfortable and getting some hot food inside me. It's quite blustery and cold. Anyway, great days walking today, mostly over moorland, which I really enjoyed. Up and down on a path around some beautiful lochs and beautiful scenery. So hopefully more of the same tomorrow morning. All right, everything's packed away in the rucksack, and the last thing to do is put away the tent. But can you hear that rain? It's quite heavy outside. So just sitting here in the dry to the last possible minute, hoping that the rain will die down quite soon. I don't really fancy going out in this. Got a confession to make. To be honest, I hadn't really thought much about this section of the path, and if I had, I wasn't really looking forward to it. It just looked like it was going to be pretty tough going over moorland and a bit, just something to be got out of the way kind of thing. But I have to say, I'm really enjoying this walking. The path is clear, so navigation's a toddle, and it's got that wild, windswept, desolate feel to it. You know, after so long on the trail, I feel reasonably fit, and so the hills aren't causing too much of a problem for me. So it's really great. It turns out a really great finale to the trail. Yeah, what a great morning's walking. a bit windswept and weather beaten after that couple of hours walking, but that's the end of the moorland section. I'm back on road now for the rest of the trail. I have to say that was a very pleasant morning's walking. Lovely moorland. Path was a bit boggy at times, but I'm used to that by now. Right, so now stashing the walking poles, getting my head down and heading into town. It was a never-ending road that took me towards Stornoway, with a harsh, cold wind blowing against me. My thoughts reflected on the past 10 days, until eventually the gates of Lewes Castle appeared. What have we here? Yes, it's the end of the trail. Yep, after 156 miles, I'm here to the end of the trail, and what a trail it's been. Right, so that's me at the end of the Hebridean Way. I've really enjoyed it. Hope you have too. I'll see you next time. Right, now where's the tea shop?